Uncanny X Men 151, X Men -1. This is an okay story with the Kitty Pryde leaving the X Men to go to Emma Frost's new academy up in Massachusetts. Her parents are transferring her. It's all kind of happening very quickly. We get a rehash of the X Men fighting the Sentinels, and some interesting, moments in here with Emma and Storm switching bodies. Overall, the story is just okay. I think that some of this feels like a retread where we're just having the Sentinels attack the school. What's I think a little bit menacing is that there are multiple Sentinels attacking at the same time, so the quantity of things there is something new. I'm not a big fan of the kiss between Kitty and Colossus. I still think there's too big of an age gap there, so the fact that she's leaving to be a couple hours away and they have this passionate kiss feels a little odd at that time. I also think that the method by which, whether they revealed in this issue or next issue, that Storm and the White Queen change bodies is a little corny. There's some ray gun that makes it happen. I know that spoilers later on in X-Men, when the White Queen changes bodies with Iceman for a period of time, that I believe that that's done just through her powers. So there's a bit of a retcon there later on, or her developing some sort of power through the trauma that she had at that time to be able to switch her body and Iceman's body. I think that's a much more interesting story, as you saw what she can actually do with Iceman's powers. I think it shows that Emma can pick up people's powers pretty quickly, which is somewhat interesting. Overall, the issue's fine. Nothing too terribly exciting. Looking forward to how they play this out with the body switching. I also think that just the idea that them setting up another school of mutants is an interesting thread that they'll touch upon again once they get to New Mutants very soon. All right, on to 152. Uncanny X Men 152, The Hellfire Gambit, Part 2. So this is continued to be penciled by Bob McLeod, who does serviceable work in here, although is not, really kind of the standards that Cockrum has set so far recently in the book. I mean, it gets by, but some of the facial expressions are distinctive, but a little silly at times. The body swap is a fun little adventure to go on here and see all the things that, we need to Freaky Friday as we go through this issue. Again, I'll go back to the idea of, a little zap gun being able to switch their minds is pretty silly. Also, not a big fan of how easily all the X-Men were captured. I know that in the last issue they were kind of surprised by Storm as well as the Sentinels, but it feels like, the X-Men were overwhelmed a little too easily, and now they're all back on the couch in their shackles or their red helmet, just like they were the last time the Hellfire Club had them captured. So, again, it just feels a little repetitive because some of the imagery I think is the same as previous issues. I like that Kitty helps Storm, aka Emma, in Storm and Emma's body to escape both Emma in Storm's body, as well as Sebastian Shaw along the way. It's interesting that Leland gets his butt kicked all the time here. I don't think I've seen him use those sort of gravitational powers to an extent where he's really been able to be menacing. On paper, it feels like he should be pretty menacing adversary, but he's able to get beat up pretty easily. And once the X-Men are free. And, it ends with Emma vowing that, she will stay away and leave Kitty alone, and the Sebastian Shaw in some sort of coma or vegetative state there. Overall, this is a fun 2 issues. Nothing really wrong with them, but nothing earth-shattering comes out of this. It's more about world building here, and the fact that Emma has a school, that it exists, and having that set up for the future in New Mutants, I think is really more interesting. All right, the next time there's an issue that's even weirder than anything we've seen so far.